Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and their pet cats, welcome back. Late to the party. Today's movie is The Raid Redemption 2011. It is about a rookie member of an elite team of commandos. Rama, Iko Uwais, is instructed to hang back while his comrades-in-arms go ahead with their mission to take down a brutal crime lord called Tama. However, the team's cover is blown, and Tama offers sanctuary to every criminal in a high-rise apartment block to exchange cops' heads. Now Rama must take command and lead his remaining team on an ultraviolent charge through the building to complete and survive the mission. Wow, that was a tongue twister. Usually they got that in like 20 words or less. That was a lot of words there. So The Raid. This is a fuzzy movie. What it lacked in plot and whatnot and dialogue, and made up for in just like kung fu action. This is like it had some Ong Bak feels in it for sure, and this star Iko. I've seen him in other movies opposite Tony Jaa, who was the star from Ong Bak.
And the last person to fight Paul Walker on screen.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I told you he was in Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious. And then if you watch the guy who played Mad Dog, he's the guy in Fast and the Furious, the one before that, where they're in the subway tunnel and they're getting in the fight and Tyrese does the like, oh God, like that. That if you watch that fight punch for punch, it's the same fight that's in that fucking end scene. Like, they literally just copied it and just placed it right there. They're like, here, put this in there. We'll have that fight.
Oh, really? So it was the same moves, or the same shots, or the exact same everything?
Almost like if they're when that, like, I'll tell you. So that real cheesy thing that's out there on YouTube of Fuzzy called Cutting Corners. There was a movie we made, like a short movie we made. We were going to try to pitch it as a movie, like a Rush Hour movie, right? We had kung fu, we were fighting, shooting. We literally did it in one day, right? And all the stunt guys go, have you heard of this movie, The Raid? And I'm like, nah, dude, what the fuck is The Raid? And they go, oh, it just came out in the theater. Like, it's only playing in Hollywood. We were all going to go see it tonight. You want to go? I was like, yeah, let's go. I was like, I'm down. So we're patting each other on the back, Fuzzy's arms hurting and shit. You know what I mean? I'm feeling like a stunt man and stuff like that. We sit down in the theater. 20 minutes into the movie, all of us just turned and looked at each other and we're like, man, we're a bunch of bitches, dude. Like, look at these guys, dude. Like, the scene that got us all, like, we all were trying to figure out how they did it, was when he grabbed the guy's head and was bouncing it off the fucking thing as it went down. And, like, we were just like, what? He hit. Like, we kept going, like, he hit. Like, the head collided. There wasn't, like, a trick shot. Like, we saw everything exploding and it was a one take, like, go down. I was like, so we all, and then like the movie ends, right? And we just all walk out. Like, we walked in like this, like, yeah, dude, we're badass, dude. We walked out. Should we even show it to people? I mean, come on, we got to compete with that, dude. Like, I was like, one of us has to break a leg or something like that before we can fucking make a movie. And I started researching the shit out of this movie after we saw it, like, because we wanted to learn how to do that. And the one thing that just kind of turned us off from trying to copy that was there was a saying during that movie that it was in all of movies, they had more ambulances leaving the set with people from breaking limbs, fucking, doing things like that. I mean, like, even down to the fight scenes where they're going into the hallway, right? And they're running at them. They had rigged a camera onto a steering wheel so he could do this. And that's why you see the fucking camera doing that and shit like that. And then we kept going like, well, why is this so just badass? Because it's a simple story. You know what I mean? It's very simple. But what they did, and I was like, even when I was watching it today, I was like, oh my God, I didn't think of it for a while, is they add a horror element to it. It's like a horror movie. Like, you're watching a horror movie. There's just no monster or anything. Like, down to like where the guy's just sitting there on the chair and all of a sudden you see him come out of the shadows like that and he fucking strangles him, you know what I mean? The guy walking down the hallway, banging the fucking machete on the wall, like it's a horror movie, but even down to the kills, like, you're just like, oh God, oh shit, like he stabbed him 6 times.
I am like I said, this movie stressed me out Like, I ate a whole carton of Haagen-Dazs when we were doing this, because, like, I just, like this is the second time I've seen it, but, like, it didn't affect, I don't know, man. I'm still, like, I don't know if I can go to bed. It's a good thing we've got another show after this, because, like, I need to calm the fuck down, like. The
tell me
part in that fight scene in the hallway, though, is when he takes that knife, like, is it the K-bar knife or what? And he sticks it in the dude's thigh, and he just drags it down to his knee, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Like,
the chin into the doorway is my favorite shit. When he fucking neck broke his ass.
Walks over him to get into the room, too. Like, he steps on him and comes through and just like, all right.
That's Fuzzy Woody
right
there.
That was you know, I don't know if you know, we haven't done too many with Fuzzy on the martial arts scene, but that's my jam. Like, my son's middle name is Bruce. So, like, and it's just because my wife wouldn't let me name his name. I was going to name him Bruce Lee Kochasak. She's like, you can't do that to him. I was like, yeah, I can. We'll train him. Like, and this movie, I think it was revolutionary in the fact of the sheer amount of stunts, the gore that they were able to incorporate with it. I don't think, however, that I didn't see anything that I hadn't seen before. So, like, I didn't see, like for example, when Ong Bak came bursting onto the scene, the use of knees and elbows, like they did, had never been seen in cinema previously. And they had some knees in here, they had some elbows in here, and so it didn't use like it didn't introduce a revolutionary move, or there wasn't like an extra choice to eat on my plate, but my plate was full. Like, it was just lots of really, really done well scenes. And as Fuzzy had alluded to, people were obviously getting their ass kicked, like, on that. Like, it was like, all right, we really want to make sure this guy looks like he gets punched in the face. How are we going to do it? I know. We'll punch him in the face.
Here's a generic idea.
Well, I'm like, one of my favorite things is I'm a Tom Fuss. I love Tom Fuss, which is those nightsticks, right? Like that. So it's in that hallway scene, and he's just beating everyone's ass with them. I remember I leaned over to my kid, I slapped him right in the chest. I go, Dad likes to kick ass with those too, man. Those are badass. I get all excited when I watch this movie. I mean, and it was what it was is, I think, because like if you watch when this movie came out, right, and then see every action movie that came after it. And they literally just took it apart and started playing it. Michael Bay is trying to do a remake of it right now. Like, that's what he's been working on for like 3 years. And I'm like, please, God, don't. And that's the Michael Bay fan telling you, do not remake this movie. Just show it again. Fuck it. You can show it the way it is and you're good. Like, it's even got the greatest Fuzzy line ever. And that's when, it's like, you should change your clothes, man. So you can blend out there. He goes, but I like this suit. It fits. And then at the end of the movie, as he's walking out, he's letting him out. He's like, come with me, you can come with me. He's like, nah. He's like, why are you going to stay here? Because just like your suit, it fits. I'm like, oh, shit, the writing is amazing. I love it.
Not only that, but it's ripe. It's ripe for the continued brother fight.
Don't watch the sequel. Just don't do it.
Sequel?
And don't do it. Don't do it. It's longer than this one, and they tried to make The Departed, and it's just don't.
So leave well enough alone?
Yeah.
So right at the end of this movie, they both died?
No, they walked away, and everything's happy. Everything's happy. They one guy married the lady, and the baby came, and fucking Fuzzy went and joined the family, and they taught me Kung Fu. And then now I'm back.
Yeah, didn't you see the rainbows and butterflies after each of them at the end,
Yeah, it was perfect, dude. That just leave it. Don't do any more. Like, leave it that second. I remember we went for the second one and we were all excited. Like, everyone's all pumped up. We're sitting there and there's just scenes of dialogue where you're going like, what the fuck, dude? Like, kick someone's ass, dude. Like, stop talking. I didn't want to see a plotter, but I like the little plot in the last one. Why are you giving me this intricate fucking no? But then, but when they do,
well, they just got their audience. They got their audience from the knees and elbows. Got them their audience, and then now they're like, we'll show them that we're true filmmakers, and it's kind of like, just
I was like, nah.
Kick ass, dude.
Speaking of Ong Bak, though, dude, I was there at the premiere of that first one, the Ong Bak Warrior, whatever, where he went after his elephant. We went to the premiere of that. I seen that dude in person, like, flip over a motorcycle as it's coming at him. Like, they did a stunt show for you to show you how badass the guy was and shit like that. And he did it right in front of us.
He did a tour with the NBA.
With the NBA?
Yeah, he like half times and shit. He would like do those stunts.
Oh shit! No,
he would run and slide backwards with his legs underneath the stuff, and like he did.
I'm talking a movie theater, dude. It was just the fucking stage, and the motorcycle came across the stage, and he just ran and flipped right over that motherfucker. And I remember sitting there, and they're like, "And now for the show." And I was like, what the fuck? Is this at every movie theater? Do they do this? This was awesome, dude. I was telling everyone about it. Like, go to the movies. They got a guy who just flips over motorcycles. And they watch the movie, and they're like, well, yeah, I guess. I'm like, no, it was in person.
That's great. All right. Once again, we must go to knock on the door of the Jaded Geek.
We've seen this movie before, so it's not as though I didn't have an idea of what to expect. And it's a phenomenal film, but what it does is it makes me realize how ridiculously stupid movies like Shang-Chi are. The Raid is made with a low budget. It's made in a foreign country. It's made basically just with heart, right? A little choreography and a lot of heart. And something like Shang-Chi is just hollow plastic bullshit. It sucks so bad by comparison. Everybody raved about, oh, Shang-Chi, great fight scene, choreography. I'm like, bro, have you seen The Raid? This movie puts those kinds of things to shame. It's terrible.
Josh had more fun, I think, watching me too watch it, because like when the fight scenes started happening, he'd like turn and he'd look at me, and I'd be like, oh, like, what's happening? Just like eating all this. And then something would happen. I'd be like, oh god, what is that? He starts rolling. That's the problem. That first garage thing with the guy at the beginning, and then it doesn't stop. Like it literally does not stop. Even on the down parts, it's still tense. They may not be fighting, but they're like hiding in the wall, and the guard's like covered, and the machete comes through and shit. And I was just, oh god, like I think I have an ulcer. Like it's just I can't handle these kind of movies anymore.
Can you sit there and be stabbed in the face by a machete?
Dude, it just like my thing too. When he pulls that thing out, there's gonna be blood. They're gonna know, but they accounted for that. And I was like,
I heard this was the story I heard about that movie. So you know the fight scene in the hallway with the guy with the machete? It's a real machete, and it cut him for real. So they had to literally do that scene to show how he got the fucking cut. So that was where that idea came from, and I was like, dude, and again, it's a movie built with bubble gum, like you were saying, like shoestring, like just literally doing what they had to do, and you can even tell by that wall, that's makeshift wall. It's like right there where the guy who walked in goes, "What the fuck's back there?" Like like he knew. So I'm like, you watch this movie and you appreciate everything, and like you were saying about Shang-Chi. I'm with you, dude. Like, because when it started, it gives you that action Shang-Chi does, like, where he's on the balcony. I'm like, oh, shit, maybe they're going to try to copy The Raid, too. And then it just goes into a magical world. You're like, what the fuck happened? But, like, The Raid doesn't ask for apologies. It doesn't, you know what I mean? It just says, fuck you, dude. If this was a fight, this is what it would look like, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to cut this guy, I'm going to stab him 20 fucking times in the chest and shit. And, like,
you remember the guy's like commando crawling? He's like, oh. And then the guy like grabs him and he's like, no, and he rolls him over and he just starts stabbing him in the chest. And I'm just like, oh god, like, and then he keeps crawling. Come on, man.
Or Mad Dog gets stabbed in the neck with that freaking piece of fucking light,
dude,
and then he still fights.
How are we not talking about Mad Dog? I know that was like the guy I love the most. Like, he's one of the best like fucking bad like sidekick villains ever, dude. Like the way he just, and he's small. He's like a tall midget. Like he's walking around like fucking, and he's just, you know, he's like, he takes the gun, does that whole, you know, I that's like ordering takeout, pulling the trigger. I like to get my own food. I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna kill this guy.
Yeah, that short guy, he's the unsung villain for sure. He took that Chihuahua complex to a whole nother fucking level, man. Holy smokes. And it took 2 kung fu masters to take him out. Like, geez.
And a fucking thing to his neck. Like, I was like, oh,
right?
God. Oh, man, this is awesome.
And then when they finish him off, they drag the light through.
I was like,
they throw the guy across the thing and he lands like on his back. And he's just like,
oh, yeah, when he fell down the balcony. Oh, that was great. Yeah.
There's a scene where he picks the guy up and he runs through the door and it goes into like the staircase area because it's like an open courtyard as you go up. There's like that opening that you could just fall down. And he picks him up and he like throws him over his shoulder or something. And he goes across the courtyard and he lands on the railing of the other side with his back and he just bows. And you're just like, that ain't right, man. Like
backs don't do that.
Like
I just saw it happen, man. I believe it can because I saw it.
Right now, dude. No, I gotta wait a day to calm the fuck down.
The punching, the kicking, just that in itself, even the sound of it, like, pop, 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 you're just like, fuck, how many times did he punch him? Especially that Mad Dog scene. You're like, he hit him 20 times and he didn't even flinch. Like, what the fuck? Love it.
I'm tense thinking about it again and talking about it again. You're working me up.
Buckets. Let's get into the buckets. All right, I'll go first. For me, I want to give the fighting and action 10 buckets. The choreography was great. You know, it was seemed like probably a bit of an impromptu story, but it worked. It was just revolved around, hey, what can we do in another fight? Like fucking stuntman roaming around with cameras, like making a movie around it. But it worked. So it's a 10 on that. On story, you know, I mean, it's not horrible, but I don't know how that many cops can take off and like not have cop overlords knowing that you're gone. So it was rife with Swiss cheese holes, but all in all,
no, the cops sent them. They did, but they tie it up. It's very thin. It's very thin.
Yeah. They tie it up with floss for sure.
Yes.
So I'm waffling between an 8.5 and a 9 on this. Just like the action is pushing the story up by like 5 points. Like so that's it. I'll go with the 8.5 to a 9 on this one. 4.
Me? Okay. I'll do this. So yeah, it's a 9 for me, but like I can't give it a 10 because it stressed me the fuck out. Like I just can't when it hurt no. But like the story is what it is. A brother trying to save or redeem the other brother, and they're going up. It's like a video game, and each level they go up, it gets tougher and tougher until they hit the boss. I mean, it's a very basic. That's
perfect.
How it works. It's like, especially when they do the scenes where you see them running up, and it's like 1, 2, 3, you know what I mean? And they're finding a few people, and as they go up, they find just the regular schmoes, and then like by level 3, and 4, that's when you find like the dude that's like shit himself because he's on drugs so bad. Like, you know what I mean? You know, okay, it's getting a little rough. Then like as they go up further, but like, you know, it is what it is type thing on this movie. I know you hate that phrase, but like that's it. It's a basic story plot line, and all this movie is just how much ass can we kick and how much can we stress Liz out about. And for that they get a 9 out of that, like right there. Like I don't know that I'll watch it again because I don't know, I have to come over and get some fuzzy snacks in order to
There you go.
You know, like
You haven't lived and watched the raid unless it was with Fuzzy going, oh shit, did you see that shit? I every now and then I would have to pick up my phone and like look at like a kitty picture or something just to like mellow me out. But no, it's definitely a good movie. I would recommend this movie for sure, but yeah, it's gonna have to wait another 5 years before I see it again.
You're gonna have to get the adrenaline dump.
That's right.
Yeah, I agree with the points that you guys have made. I think though, when you're talking about martial arts films, I mean, how many martial arts films really have like the most solid story? You know, Enter the Dragon. You know, it's just an excuse to get them to some, you know, janky ass tournament on an island to fight. And you know, and they even have Michael Ironside in there as a fighter. It's like, come on, serious. And then no, it's not Michael Ironside. What's his name? John Sampson. Anyway,
Saxon.
John Saxon. Thank you. And then, you know, I think of like Bloodsport, same premise. You know, you get secret tournament in Hong Kong, blah blah blah. And, you know, this is the same kind of thing. It's like, oh, we're gonna get them to fight. So how are we gonna do it? Oh, there's a crime infested.
And Frank Dukes, he's fucking the biggest fraud. He's like the biggest fraud since Steven Seagal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hey, Frank Dukes would kick everyone's ass, dude. Okay,
So yeah, I'll take that bet. So I think that I'm going to have to agree with Nate on this one. I think this one's like a strong 8. The fight scenes and the choreography is brilliant. The story's not so rock solid, but it's serviceable. It's functional. It's not any worse really than any other martial arts film, except Shang-Chi.
Well, for me, this is a freaking 15.5, dude, because it's got that extra half right there that goes there. Is because they took out a kid's head. Literally, when that kid's running, police!
Right.
Oh,
and that's like the most innocent kill out of the whole movie right there. That's like, oh, geez, I forgot about that.
Again, Fuzzy has studied how you write scripts, and that is the rule that you don't do, and they just went, I went, oh, I said, we are in for a ride now. Dude, look at this shit. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, they get that extra point up there for that. But literally, like you said, it is every kung fu movie. But like, think of it, this was like Game of Death. Bruce Lee's Game of Death, how he had to get through all those different, you know, Kareem Abdul and all those guys to get to the top. And this is just that amped up, you know, on adrenaline and shit like that. Like, they're just pumping it into you nonstop. So, you know, you go into this and like with the story being even that razor thin, I was shocked. Because when I was watching all the fights, this is going to be the dumbest story ever. Like, but who cares? You know, we're going to watch it. But because of those little like tying things, I went, oh, I love this now. They thought of everything, didn't they, dude? They made a fan out of Fuzzy right now, boy. I'll tell you, I still preach the choir of the raid, dude. They still haven't found a movie that can top this for me. John Wick was close. Because they killed his puppy, and I cried, and I fucking was like, kill these motherfuckers, dude. So I was like, you know what I mean? And he was fighting them the same way. But just something about this, just the bloodiness, the scariness of it. You're just like, oh, God, dude, like, this is so good. So 15 for Fuzz.
There you have it. 15 for Fuzz, made up for everybody.
It's a Lego 10.
Yes.
We'll have a new movie next week. Late to the party. Join us. Live with us. Laugh with us. Learn with us. Take us out, Fuzzy.
Love, peace, and chicken grease, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out.
All right.